So if you're like me, you are looking forward to breaking up with your student life and going into the workforce to earn more money, I'm sorry, you're in for a great surprise. So nobody warned me, nobody prepared me. I was literally a fish out of water. And the first time I received what I thought was going to be my salary, I was shocked. I had to call the HR. I was like, "Hello, where is my money? What happened to my money?" And then she said, "Hi, beautiful people, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we'll be talking about expectations, what you expect after your graduation from your PhD program in the US. And today we would be specifically talking about potential financial crisis you may encounter at this stage in your life. And I'm actually excited to talk about this topic because it's something I'm currently experiencing and I'm still trying to navigate through this. So I was talking to a friend the other day, lamenting about my challenges after my PhD to her, and and she was so surprised, she was so astonished, she was just screaming because she's still a PhD student, and and then she suggested I talked about this on my channels to help other PhD students in terms of what to expect after their PhD program. So I'll be breaking this down, the financial crisis. I'll breaking it down so you would understand the factors that contributed to it as it pertains to me. So the first one is your salary. So if you're like me, you are looking forward to breaking up with your student life and going into the workforce to earn more money, I'm sorry, you're in for a great surprise. So nobody warned me, nobody prepared me. I was literally a fish out of water. And the first time I received what I thought was going to be my salary, I was shocked. I had to call the HR. I was like, "Hello, where is my money? What happened to my money?" And then she said that taxes and benefits were deducted. My heart sank. So that was one of the issues I faced, and transitioning from student life, because you're receiving stipend, and as a student your stipend is not heavily taxed as your salary when you start working as a professional worker. And when I was doing my PhD, I was a graduate research assistant, and I was receiving stipend, and it wasn't heavily taxed. And the worst thing is that you might even be much more unfortunate if you move to a city that requires you to pay both federal and state tax. Right now, I stay in Utah, and I'm required to pay both federal and state tax. When I was doing my PhD in Florida, it wasn't a requirement. There was no state tax in Florida. And my stipend back then, when I was a graduate research assistant, wasn't really heavily taxed. So that was the first shock I had when I graduated. Okay, so the second factor was relocation expenses. So if you moved to a city, if you moved to a state, if you got a job in another state, I moved from one end of the country to the other. I moved from Florida to Utah. My relocation cost was so high. Even when I had chosen the what was supposed to be the cheapest option, which is traveling by road, using a truck to travel by road, still ended up being very much expensive because you spent 3 days on the road. And then I also had my car shipped because I was just scared of potential wear and tear, driving that, towing the car cross country. So that was why I chose to tow my car, and that also incurred expenses for me in addition to the moving. So if you're moving to another city for a job, you are more likely going to incur some expenses when it comes to your relocation cost. And then the third factor is your housing. So if you had roommates as a student, I believe your rent must have been relatively affordable. for me, for example, I had roommates as a PhD student and my rent was actually much more affordable compared to right now. But when you move into a space, an apartment, or by yourself, you are living alone, your rent would most likely skyrocket. So right now I'm living alone. My rent is times 5 of what I paid as a student. Yes, rent is expensive when you live alone. Oh my goodness. But then again, you have to consider the features the apartment you want would come with. For me, my number one priority is safety. I prefer a gated community or an apartment that has security locks. And another feature I just can't compromise on is inbuilt laundry. It's just much more convenient for me. Some people could pass on that, but me, no, I prefer an inbuilt laundry. So if you're living alone and you want an inbuilt laundry, just get ready. Your rent would be high. And then the third one is potential pest infestations. Ugh, roaches, I just cannot deal with roaches. I literally have palpitations, like my heart skips when I see one. And let's not even get into flying roaches. No, I can't. I won't. I'm not going to talk about that. And so if you're someone that could deal with rats and roaches, then you're more likely going to find a cheaper apartment to move into when you graduate from your PhD. Just bear that in mind. And by the way, the cost of rent also varies by state, by the average cost of housing or rent in the area. For example, California and New York, they obviously have unbelievable, outrageous prices when it comes to rent. But compared to Florida, places like Florida, Texas, these places are quite affordable. I'm in Utah, so I think the rent is a little bit high. I think it's actually in the middle, in between high and low, but it's high. Like I said, when you consider the features you want in an apartment. So those are the factors you have to consider. So these are the big players when it comes to factors that contributed to my financial crisis when I graduated from my PhD program. And yeah, you definitely would get a higher pay, increased salary, more money when you graduate. But then again, you're going to spend all of that on bills, 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 bills. There's a saying that adulthood is a scam, adulting is a scam. Yes, it really is. As the money is coming in, the money is going out like this. So that's the way it works. That's life. So if you're a PhD student watching this, I would like you to be prepared. Start now to save. I saved when I was a PhD student. So I'm actually spending what I saved as a PhD student. I was richer as a PhD student. As a student, I was richer compared to right now that I'm working. So, because as salary is coming in, I'm paying bills, as in nothing stays. That's just the sad truth. So if you're a PhD student watching this, just be prepared and don't be surprised as I was when I graduated. And also, I just wanted to clarify, I don't have student debt. So thank God my PhD was funded. So you could imagine if I had student debt to pay off after graduating, that would have been terrible. So if you're a PhD student watching this, don't be taken by surprise as I was when I graduated. This video is supposed to, tell you, prepare you for your next step or your next stage in life in your career. So like I said, start now to save. It will be helpful. It will come in handy when you graduate. Believe me, it would. So that's the end to this video. Please like, share this video if you found it helpful, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done that already. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos, okay? And as always, I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.